Hello everybody and welcome back to our YouTube channel with an English video, and it's a reading. I know it's very exciting. It's been a while, and while in this time of like we not making YouTube videos, we have decided, or me personally, I have decided to start learning tarot. So here we are with the tarot reading. For those of you who don't know me, I am Alexandra and I'm a certified ascension coach with Twin Flames Universe. And I help, people come into their harmonious union with their true twin flame using the teachings of union. And if you're interested by any chance to see what I have to offer, what I do, me and Lawrence, you together, please go over to our website, twinflamessacredreality.com, and you can find out more about us there. But without further interaction, the reading today is for the week from the 6th of March to the 12th of March. In this week, we are focusing just reading the twin flame energy. Where are you on your twin flame journey? And this reading is not going to be about your twin flame or your romantic interest. It's going to be about you, where you are, and what you're going through and what you need to do to kind of move forward, right? It's guidance for you, the person watching the video. So the way that I will do this reading, I have already pulled 6 cards tarot, and we will look to them together. And at the end, I'm going to pull also some oracle cards for further clarification or guidance. So let us begin. As I said, cards are ready. We can just jump right into it. So here we are starting with the 4 of Cups. Yep, it's the 4 of Cups. And reversed. The 4 of Cups reversed shows that maybe you have been until now on a period. You have gone through a bit of like not looking at your twin flame journey. Maybe you avoided it in one way or another, or maybe you just needed a bit of a break from everything happening. And right now, with the 4 of Cups reversed, it just shows that you're ready to kind of get back into a flow or a rhythm, right? If you haven't been healing specifically about your twin flame, it's time to you're opening up to looking more at your twin flame journey, doing the mirror exercise, maybe watching classes, doing everything that you need to support yourself in order to go to the next level with your twin flame journey. And it's really important for you to kind of allow yourself to come into this newfound interest, so to say, for your twin flame journey naturally, and not have any judgment about what happened, because maybe the reason why you couldn't go deeper on your twin flame journey is that you had to face maybe some past relationship trauma or upsets, that were a bit heavier, and you just needed a bit of space to kind of process that. So that's another thing that comes through. Maybe you just had some very deep experience that you looked at, and you were kind of dealing with it to the best of your abilities, and now either you have moved through it, either you are willing to look at it and heal it right now, and this is why you're opening towards that new beginning kind of energy, and you're willing to let go of the old patterns to embrace a new way of being with your twin flame. And yeah, it's a beautiful way. We're starting with a kind of a new beginning energy, right, with this reading. The next card for us in the reading is the 9 of Cups. And the 9 of Cups is a really good card. It means that you are in a good space, technically with your twin flame journey. And you are just experiencing more love this week, more satisfaction, more passion, more romance in your relationship. And it is because, as I said with the previous card, you have come through from this break, and you move to whatever you had to move through. So you do find a new sense of love and enjoyment and satisfaction into your twin flame union. And you also, it's possible that you feel closer to your twin flame as well. It's a feeling of closeness, a feeling of it's good. Everything is on the right track, no matter how it looks like, and you feel kind of fulfilled with how things are right now in your relationship, at least like one part of it. On to the next card, we have the Death card. And with the Death card coming up after these two cards specifically, I feel that even though like you have like this new beginning, this better kind of feeling place for your twin flame, where you feel more connected, you also have kind of like a pattern that you need to face and end. So the Death card comes with the end of kind of like an unhealthy pattern for you in your journey or your union. So it's a really good thing that this card is coming up. It means that you're kind of, again, you're willing to let it go. You're willing to let the past go. You're willing to let the toxic pattern or whatever it is go. And I don't sense that many of you would be resistant to this particular change, but for those of you that face some resistance, just have the reassurance that, you know, this is part of the process. This is part of you going deeper in your twin flame journey. This is part of you really claiming and, you know, honoring your union, because if this pattern has been with you while you were in separation, maybe it's not the most healthy thing for you that, you know, support your union in the long run. And here it's important for you to like accept just the transition. There is a transition happening with you, and it's gonna be a big one, but I don't feel like something like the Tower where it's very dramatic and things are crashing and burning. It's just gonna be like a grief as well, you know, with that. Maybe you're going through some grief and like, you know, the kind of 5 stages of grief moment. But here, like, it's safe to like go through your own kind of grieving process about this thing, but ultimately it's about realizing that whatever is going is not really serving you, and it's safe to just let it go. And by letting it go, you allow new life to emerge, right? The death doesn't mean necessarily death. It's just the ending of a cycle and the beginning of a new cycle. And it's just a matter of perspective and how you look at it, right? So I invite you as well to look at it from the perspective of like, yeah, like we are having like a new beginning, and it might feel a bit uncomfortable because of situations, but it's gonna be okay, and we're gonna make it happen. Good. The next card here is the Five of Pentacles, and with the Five of Pentacles here, it's I think like because with the Death card and that pattern, you might feel, you know, some abandonment, some rejection, maybe fear of being unwanted, right? Because usually when a pattern comes up that needs to be released, kind of like with the Death card situation, when we have like patterns or toxic things that we're holding on to, we're not stupid beings. We have like a reason in our mind why we're holding on to that certain thing. And there is a part of us like that truly benefits, that truly believes that you benefit by having that toxic behavior or that, you know, unhealed pattern. And therefore, this is kind of a representation of that part of you. You see, like that she's crying, you know, she's sad, you know, she's sitting there and has to let go of the thing and feels sad about it, you know. It's safe to just love that part of you and realize that it would be kind of part of the process, healing that abandonment, healing that feeling unwanted, feeling like fear of rejection or your twin flame leaving you because suddenly you're maybe placing a boundary with the toxic behavior, or you're radically changing something in your relationship, right? And this scares you. But here you will have to like allow yourself to move to this transition first, but in this process, communicate. Have an open communication with your twin flame. Have them like understand why you're doing something. The number one mistake I see people do is not have communication when things like this come up. Like, oh, like let's say like you have a behavior that your twin flame does that it doesn't make you feel comfortable, and you don't need to accept any kind of, unhealthy behavior from your twin flame just because they're your twin flame. The number one mistake that I see is not addressing this thoroughly with your twin flame. Maybe you're like, hey, don't do this, it's upsetting me. But if you come from like a place of like defensiveness, being upset, you'll not be able to, move to that, because your twin flame will not change if you don't change. So here you have to like allow yourself to really kind of change within yourself by healing this part of you. And then after you move to that process of healing, communicate in a healthy way what kind of your boundaries are. So for example, if you experience your partner disrespecting you and your twin flame disrespecting you in a particular way, let's say they don't clean after themselves in the kitchen. You will have to have a proper conversation about that. Hey, I don't think this is healthy and this is why. And what I see here is like when you approach the situation in this way, it will allow you to kind of like have like a healing conversation with them. And when you don't make it necessarily about yourself, even if, yes, it does upset you, but usually when your twin flame does toxic things or you deal with unhealthy behaviors, they're hurting themselves as well. And I think like one way that you can approach this, and what I feel is as you heal, just share with them that what they're doing is toxic for themselves, not necessarily for you. Because again, your twin flame shouldn't affect your state of being. If it does, you just have to mirror it. Yeah. Another thing that comes with this card as well is depression, and that maybe you are moving through healing that as well. That's it with this card. Moving on to the next card, we have the 4. Yes, that's 4. Looking, it's a 4 or 6. It's a 4 of Swords. And I feel like, when you have to like address, these kind of patterns with your twin flame, the worst thing that you can do is be very combative about it. This card signifies that you have to give it space, right? If you give your twin flame a peace, let them reflect on that. If you address with them, hey, I don't think this is a healthy behavior, the worst thing that you can do is like, you have to change now. Otherwise, whatever. And sometimes you do have to do that. And here it's not about like letting your boundaries down, but it's about not putting unhealthy expectations on them to be changed tomorrow, right? It's about cultivating together a healthy, like a healthy pattern, if I were to say. You replace a toxic pattern with a healthy pattern. So you have to give it space. You have to let your twin flame reflect on the things that you bring up. You have to let yourself be heal kind of together in a space and just come together, but don't force it. Here, the only thing that you have to be careful with this is like not forcing things to happen and just letting them come up naturally. Let your twin flame come into his own kind of like awareness about what's happening, and it will be the same. If your twin flame doesn't agree with you, don't you worry. If you are truly in love and in alignment, then no matter how much he doesn't agree, he will come to the same understanding as you. And for me, like, this happens time and time again. And I see like another thing that might happen here. So the first trap is like you're gonna push and force. The second trap is that you will feel afraid actually to put up boundaries with your twin flame because of a fear of being alone. And don't do that. Don't do that. Don't allow yourself to be disrespected or walked on just because you're twin flame, right? No, let's not do that. So that will be a challenge, and you will have to face those fears of you being alone. Yeah, maybe the opposite is like, oh, when I respect myself, my twin flame leaves me, or anything like that. Move to that and claim for you to have, again, like a healthy relationship there. And for the last card, tarot card that comes up, is the Two of Pentacles reversed. And the Two of Pentacles reversed means kind of overwhelmed. With all of these situations going on, I think one of the excuses or the things coming up for you being tempted to not address this pattern is overwhelming yourself with work, family situations, money, everything else. But here, this is kind of like an avoidance tactic that you can have if you're not going to address this. Yeah, I understand. You feel overwhelmed. There's a lot going on, but it has to be addressed. And it is the best if you are addressing it. And kind of this overwhelm that you're feeling, this card kind of says that it's not real, really. It's just something that you're kind of fabricating because you're afraid to address the problem, the big elephant in the room. There is a big elephant in the room, and there is avoidance about facing the elephant in the room. And it's okay. It's okay that you're feeling this way, but realize that that's a block, that's an avoidance, and choose to move through it, right? Choose to not let avoidance let you be, you know, miss this opportunity for healing, I guess. Yeah. And I feel that with this as well, what can happen, because of you overwhelm and because of this avoidance, actually, when a conversation is needed, you know, or necessary for this healing, you're kind of neglecting your twin flame and having that conversation because you're preoccupying yourself with all these other things. And it might be like, it can mean an external thing, like you really need to sit down with your twin flame and talk and have a conversation. But it might also mean, for those of you that are not in union or in communication, that you're avoiding doing your healing. You're avoiding just sitting down and addressing this situation within yourself. You can have a conversation within yourself with your twin flame, no matter where your union is. Be it in separation, you don't talk. Being in union, you talk. You're knowing each other. Being in harmonious union, it doesn't really matter. You can sit down and have a conversation with your twin flame now, if necessary. Laurentiu is cooking right now, but if I feel like I need to, you know, address something, I'm gonna address it, and I'm not gonna. He heard his name, so then he came. He's like looking at me. So he's not. There's no reason for you to not address this, and it's just an avoidance, and you're avoiding, but you're healing it, and I invite you to heal it, right? So it seems like this whole week is about you just really addressing these kind of things that's happening between you and your twin flame that you're kind of avoiding to address fully and completely. And once you address fully and completely, you're going to feel much better, right? We all feel much better after we fully released from our twin flame union. You know what I mean. If you did healing, you know what I mean. Good. So now let us pull the oracle cards. For the oracle cards, I have prepared the Angel Prayers oracle cards by Kyle Gray. I really enjoy these cards. They're pretty. So let us see. I'm going to shuffle them. And since I kind of pre-shuffle the cards for the tarot because I'm kind of learning how to interpret and prepare for the reading, I'm very much more accustomed to doing oracle cards. I think people like to see us shuffling cards, so I'm gonna keep shuffling, but with an oracle deck. So for the energy, for this union, any guidance, anything that comes up. The first card is spiritual gifts. So yeah, in moving through this healing that we have talked about, you will have like a great spiritual gift. and it is safe for you to like receive that. And this healing and this thing happening might not seem as a spiritual gift at first, but it is. And anytime you go through anything like this, it is a spiritual gift. So it's safe to like allow yourself to see that perspective and receive it in that way. The next step is the next card is like take a step back. And I feel like with this card is like that energy of not jumping to conclusions and not being, you know, forceful and like pushy with the situation, and just allowing yourself to kind of truly feel your feelings with anything that's happening in this week. Don't react. Don't, you know, if something happens between you and your twin flame, you're just gonna like, yeah, you know, don't. Take a step back. Do your inner work. It's gonna save you. Just don't jump at their throat. Don't do it. Take a step back. Chill. Do the mirror exercise. Then you can address the situation. The next card is express your creativity. And this is interesting that is coming up. What's kind of instantly bringing up is that all of these kind of upsets, these things, you're kind of dissatisfied with something. You feel like you can't express yourself creatively in a healthy way. So therefore, this is just you finding an outlet for you to express yourself in a healthy way. Fight, anger, all of these things are just misused. You know, Jeff and Shaleia always say that, you know, fights are facts, you know, so that's one way to express yourself creatively, but not necessarily only that. So it might be just like a misuse of your energy in how you're approaching the situation, right? I think like you really want to express with your twin flame and have like a healthy way, but it's just like something stopped you there, and it's all gonna be about you finding a different way for you to express yourself where you don't, everything doesn't fall apart anymore, right? So that's kind of what comes up intuitively for me. And for this reading, I hope that you enjoyed. Again, if you would like a personal reading or to coach with us, either me or Laura and you or together, you can check our website at twinflamesacredreality.com. And yeah, this is all I have for this reading. Don't forget to also like and subscribe to our YouTube channel. We will do more readings and content in English as well, so don't you worry. And yeah, thank you very much for joining us, and we will see you in next week. Bye bye.